why are there so many denominations? Simple answer is because people don't want to get along together. Maybe that's oversimplified. Jesus gave us the way to live, and it was very simple. And it was not meant for Christians, it was meant for the Jews. Because they had complicated the Hebrew religion so much so that it didn't resemble what God really wanted. And it was the priests that were doing this, the religious hierarchy. And that carried forward when it became Christianity. Oh, this isn't good, that's good, we'll take this, we'll throw that out, we'll do this. They didn't listen to what Jesus was saying. He gave us a very simple way of living by faith with a few little things that we have to sort of balance out in us. We don't have to balance it out for the world. It's already balanced. If we would learn to live in God's heavenly will, we wouldn't need all the denominations. And I've used an example of some of the problems with denominations, like the Methodists say that we can lose our salvation. And the Baptists say, once saved, always saved. Well, if we think about the parable of the sower and the seed, there were 4 classes. And the first one was along the edge of the road, and obviously the sprouts died. And the 4th class, it was in fertile soil, and it produced a lot. Now, the Baptists were looking at only that 4th class. And the Methodists were looking at the 1st class, starting to the last. So obviously you could lose your salvation if you thought you were saved coming along. But the Baptists started at the end. And when you look at people, you find that people, it's very simple to say some words, but that doesn't mean that they're living in that truth. And in doing prison ministry, I got to talk to some of the Billy Graham team. And I asked them, when they have these big altar calls and a whole bunch of people come forward, I said, what percent of those stay? What percent of those have true conversion? And their pastors said, maybe 5%. And that's because it's not what people say, it's the way they are. And people get caught up in the emotions. They get caught up in what other people are doing. They want to be part of the group. And we see this with meat eaters. People don't want to give up their meat, even though it's causing horrible pain and suffering to the animals. They still want their pound of flesh. They just want it to be humane. Well, there's no way to be humane and kill an animal. And that has to do with denominations. People want something different. Well, I want this to be here instead of this. And they tear a church apart sometimes. So you end up with another denomination and another denomination, another group. That is not following God's heavenly will. So why do we have so many denominations? Because we don't want to listen to God's heavenly will. We want to listen to what other people are saying. Return to God. and you'll see through all of these differences. Amen.